And welcome back to another video, everyone. Thanks for taking the time as I make my way to the roundabout and the starting point of this group ride, the very first group ride for 2026, as I'm about to reach the roundabout where everybody meets up, and we're gonna get started on this group ride and enjoy a nice island loop around Dutch and French St. Maarten. Stay tuned. Hope you enjoy the video.
Boss man.
What's up, man, Ralph? Happy New Year, man. You all good? Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
It's my grandson.
Oh, what's going on, man? Everything all right?
Yeah.
You good? Morning, everybody. What's up? Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year to you.
How you doing there?
Oh, you're taking my picture.
Yes, I am. I came specially to take your picture.
And we're off on our way, making our way over the causeway to get started. This isn't a very high-paced group ride. It's a nice leisure, laid-back Sunday ride. We try to stick together as much as a group just to enjoy each other's company and a nice early morning ride around that.
Morning, man. What's up? Everything all right? Good to see you again, man.
All good?
How you doing there? You all right? Good, good.
Yeah, so you've been working.
Here you can see all the lights from the bikes as it's still a little dark in the morning time. We usually meet up at 6:30 a.m. and everyone has their lights on so that we can be visible to all the traffic coming through our way. This group ride is hosted by Ralph, and he usually sends out the information, and we get a very diverse group of riders joining us almost every week. It depends on everyone's availability. Today we had a nice big group. I think we started out with about 15-16 riders, and we all stuck together for the entirety of the ride and made our way around the island. I bought a new rear camera mount for my GoPro, and in testing it out for the very first time on this ride, I realized that I can adjust the camera angle just a bit to capture more of the bikes as the riders get closer to the frame. So it's just a mental note for the next time I go on a group ride to adjust the camera angle down a bit. But for the most part, once the riders are within the frame, the camera mount holds up really good. It's much better than the previous one. The previous camera mount I had to constantly be adjusting it as it was getting loose all the time, but this one is much better. I did not need to adjust it at any point in time of the ride. And this one mounts to the bottom of my seat compared to the previous mount that mounted on the seat stem. So I like this setup a lot better. I just need to adjust the angle moving forward. I enjoy riding around the island mainly because of all the hills. I like climbing hills, so you get a real good exercise when it comes to climbing the hills on the island. We do a total of about 700 to 800 meters of climbing. I know that may not sound like much, but for me who are accustomed to just riding on St. Maarten, it's quite intense ride because some of the hills, the gradient gets anywhere between 13 and 16% on the gradients. There's one short hill that gets up to about 19, but it's not that long of a ride. But for the most part, it's a good workout for your legs in terms of training hills. Right here we're on the back road in Grand Caz, still on the front side of the island, and we usually have a breakfast stop on our Sunday rides. This week our regular stop just happened to be closed for some reason, so we stop at another location, a bakery in French Quarter, to have a small bite to eat, coffee, croissants, and then we get back on the bikes and continue the ride.
Dat zijn wel op zich dat ze meer liters heeft gekocht dan andere jaren in december. Ja, dat ze dat ook net voor zijn eigen liter kunnen bekennen, niet concurreren met hogere plekken in de buurt. Dit jaar
thing you have to be constantly paying attention to riding on St. Martin is the traffic. Our roads are not the widest, they are not the best, so you definitely have to pay attention at all times when you're riding. Sometimes some drivers can get impatient when riders are on the road. Um, but I must say, over the past couple of years, motorists are being a bit more respectful towards riders when they come across us, especially on Sundays. So it's also comforting when you ride in a big group because there is strength in numbers, especially when it comes to the passing of cars. And me personally, I enjoy riding in the morning times because you have a lot less traffic compared to in the afternoon, and you tend to, be able to stretch out a bit and enjoy the road with less traffic. So here we're still on the French side of the island, making our way past Orient, and then from Orient is into French Quarter before we can head over to the other side of the island. This is us back on the road again after our breakfast stop. Um, we are making our way through French Quarter. This is my neighborhood that I grew up in, so I know this area very, very well. Um, and it still have a few more hills we have to climb, but nevertheless, it's not a high-paced ride, as I already mentioned. So it's a nice, easy Sunday morning ride that keeps us all together and enjoying each other's company as we make our way around the island. If you're a fellow cyclist, I'm pretty sure you could pick up on all the times we are riding over hills, as you notice people standing up and Susie up ahead going zigzag just to minimize the effect on her legs getting over the hill.
Nice flyby. If I'm gone, that's what she said.
Yeah.
Like this angle of capturing the rider behind me coming down the hill. Here we are full speed coming into Sucker Garden. We officially on the dirt side of the island right here. But when I saw this footage, I was like, yeah, that looks really, really good. Here is, I think this is the only high speed portion of the ride for the entire day. We're coming through Sucker Garden, and this is pretty a straight shot all the way into Point Blanche. So here's where we were pushing it a bit. In the front you have Carl, right behind Carl is Gary, and then myself. We got up to roughly around 34-35 kilometers per hour, pushing, making our way through Sucker Garden and into Point Blanche. A nice shot of Ralph. He's who hosts these rides. He's the one who sends out the invitation and gets everyone together. Ralph also does a great job of making sure all the riders stick together. Sometimes we have riders who are not as experienced or strong in the hills, and Ralph makes sure that no man or woman is left behind. Right here we are about to make our way into Point Blanche. There is a very popular turnaround point in Point Blanche that we loop around every group ride, and then from there we make our way through town on the boardwalk, and we usually stop to take a picture and then continue to make our way over Cold Bay Hill and back to our starting point. Making our way over Prince Bernard Bridge in the Phillipsburg area, getting closer to Cold Bay Hill and back to our starting point. Alright, it's almost over at this point in time. It's good to see that we all stuck together and made it through all the climbing and enjoyed another day Sunday. Normally one lap around the island is roughly about 45 kilometers in total, and you're doing, like I said, anywhere between 700 and 800 climbing. What I usually like to do, because we start at 6:30 a.m., I leave home at around 5:30, 5:45, and I go in town and make a lap. And on this particular day, I think I ended up with a total of 86 or 87 kilometers. So yeah, I like to do a little extra, especially on Sundays. Sundays is usually my longer or longest ride of the week. So I would usually get up a little earlier to make a lap into town. And then because I ride from home to the meeting point, I have to ride back home, and I end up going over Cold Bay Hill twice. Once just to get at the meeting point, and then the second time when we go back to the starting point, and then of course I have to ride back. So that's what I end up doing, the extra kilometers compared to if we just go over the hill or around the island once. Here we are in Simpson Bay. We met the bridge open. This is the bridge that lets all of the mega yachts and sailing yachts from the open water into the bay. Where they're able to dock and get services. This was a nice capture here with the sailing boat, the sailing yacht that entered the bridge into the lagoon. A really, really nice yacht. Wow. I enjoyed and was lucky to be in the right place at the right time to capture this footage to share with you guys. Just like that, we are back at the starting point. We made our way around the island from start to finish. It was a really nice, enjoyable ride. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you on the next one. Be sure to subscribe and like. Make a comment if you ever want to join us on these group rides. It's every Sunday, 6:30 a.m. starting at the Causeway, Simpson Bay. Next time, guys.
Back to where it all started, safe and sound.